Is there any law that says an injunction will not stop an inauguration?
You know, law does not operate in a vacuum. You just don't jump up with an injunction and go ahead. First and foremost, there are parties. There have to be parties before a court of law. As much as we know, unless if they take stamps and stamp papers and backdate them, but what we knew was filed as a petition initially by the APRC was against only two parties, the IEC and the Ministry of Justice. President-elect Adama Barrow was not named as a party, and it was the coalition. So what we know as the original petition that was filed, of which we are in possession of, they can go back and change the papers, and because they have stamps and they can do whatever they want to do, they can change the papers. It doesn't change anything. What we know that President Adama Barrow is not a party, and when you go to court, you seek an injunction against the inauguration of who? Against the inauguration of who? President-elect Adama Barrow. He is not a party before the court of law. How can you seek an injunction against me when you have gone to court and evidenced yourself that you have no issues with me? How could such an injunction be binding on me? I do not want to go into the merits of their case. I do not want to argue it. All I'm saying is you cannot issue an injunction against a party who is not a party, against an individual, either natural or corporate body who is not party to the suit. You cannot issue an injunction against who? This is my question. But like I said, I'm not going into the merits of their case. They can do what they will. The parties before them are very clear. If they go around and change their papers, they might as well go and do that. What we are saying is that there is no case presented against President-elect. He has not received any court process as a party in any of the petitions, and therefore, as far as we are concerned, officially, there is no case against him filed anywhere in the Gambia. Thank you. We understand that an injunction has been filed, but we are not officially aware of it. So in other words, there is no sitting, there is no injunction. I don't want to go into a hypothetical case to say that an injunction can stop the swearing in ceremony. But let's leave injunction aside. What I want to tell you is this. On the 19th of January, which is not going to fail, regardless of whatever may happen, and I mean whatever, this is as wide as possible as it can get. January 19th, His Excellency President-elect Adama Barrow shall be sworn in as the next president of the Gambia. And nothing, let me insist, nothing except Allah can stop that. And we know neither the APRC, no President Jammeh, or the courts is Allah. So only Allah can stop that. But there is no force on earth that will stop the swearing-in ceremony of President-elect Barrow on the 19th. We are told that they intend to declare a state of emergency. Well, this is the constitution of the Gambia. It is clear. You just cannot get up and declare a state of emergency on your whim and caprice. There are preconditions for declaring a state of emergency. Those conditions don't exist. What is the emergency? There is no political emergency in terms of a security situation that would warrant the declaration of a state of emergency. Even if it does, it is not going to be respected. We will not allow anybody to abuse the law or misuse the law. It's not going to happen. Declare a state of emergency, it is in your dream. The people of this country will not, and we will not recognize any state of emergency, because there are no factors as stipulated on the law that would justify a declaration of a state of emergency. We will only respect the law, but we will not obey directives or declarations that amount to an illegality under the law. We are also aware that, there are these stories going around that they might go around arresting coalition leaders or, jump on people or attack people. I don't want to give any dignity to these rumors. But I can assure you that will be very ill-advised. And these things, let them try and see. Let them try and see and go after coalition leaders or try to go after President-elect Barrow. Let them try and see. Let them try and see. Let them try and go after them.
Been prepared. Do we know anything about that bill?
An amnesty bill. I'm not aware of any amnesty bill. Amnesty for who? For which crimes? Amnesty for who? For who and who? I heard the president said in his own mouth that we need a general amnesty. Well, that is his position. If he wants a general amnesty, he must not only speak, but the conduct of President Jammeh must commensurate with his actions. You cannot say we want peace and tranquility and order, and you are deploying soldiers and troops with weapons all over to come out and dissociate himself from that statement. If he does not, we take it that that statement was issued according to his directives, and those were his own words. Amnesty, we are not aware of any amnesty bill in Parliament. State House is a residence. It is a residence. It also has the office of the President. What is an office? Where you can work and function and carry out your responsibilities. It doesn't matter where the President-elect will go or not go. That's up to him. He is the President of the country on that day, the executive authority of the land. He decides where he wants to go. I don't know where he would want to go. It's up to him. But all I know is that on that day, executive authority of the state is conferred on him legally, and he becomes the President of the country. He can decide where he wants to go. What I can tell you is, on the 19th of January, the term of President Jammeh expires, and our President will assume the office on that day, and he will exercise the powers of state. On that day, the world listens to him, and the government will listen to him. President Jammeh becomes a former head of state, and he will be treated as a former head of state with honor. If there are any crimes against President Jammeh, we cannot say so, because crimes must be proven in a court of law. But in any event, nobody is talking about crimes here. What we are saying is, on January 19th, President-elect Barrow becomes president, and outgoing President Jammeh becomes former head of state. He's welcome to stay in the country. He's a Gambian like every other Gambian, and we will treat him according to the law, that is according to the act that explains what should happen to former heads of states. He has the right to stay in this country. He will be entitled to his bodyguards. He will be entitled to an office with a secretarial staff. He will be entitled to his vehicles, to protocol office. All these things are in the law. We cannot deny him these things. In other words, he will become a former head of state, and he will be treated with the honor according to the act. That is what we are going to do, and that is what we are preparing for. He will decide where he wants to have his office. He can have it in Kanilai, he can have it in Basse. The state will pay for this office. He can decide who he wants to be his secretary or administrative advisor or assistant. He can decide who his protocol is going to be. The state will pay. He has entitled to his health insurance. We will fly him to any part of the world he wants for his medical examination. And he will have luxury vehicle at his disposal. Not that we want to do this or we don't want to do this. This is the law of the land, unless it is changed. But as long as it remains the law of the land, all former heads of states are entitled to this, including from the 19th of January, it will become the entitlement of President Jammeh also as former head of state. That's what we are preparing for, to give him these things. But on that day, he must be prepared to step down. Even if he refuses to step down, he'll be violating the law of this land. And on that day, he'll become a former head of state, like it or not. President Jammeh should have no cause to fear anything. He served this country for 22 years, for God's sake. He did some good things. He did some good things we must acknowledge, no doubt. There were mistakes, and we also will make our own mistakes, no doubt about that. But he should have no reason to worry. After all, he should be looking forward to life after the presidency. I suppose, like President Mai Ahmad said, former President Mai Ahmad of Ghana, or President Obama and others. They are living peacefully. In Nigeria, you go there are several heads of states who are contributing to the world and to Africa and their countries. That's what we expect President Jammeh to do as well. There shouldn't be any reason for any cause of concern or worry. Like I said, we will treat him honorably according to an act of parliament that he himself passed, for which former President Jawara is a beneficiary of. You know.